I am a girl's girl, really big on girl power. My girlfriends are my family. They are my sisters. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a planner. Oh my God, like I can give you my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan like this. And I'm a mom and I will fight you for my family. My name is Cindy Charles. I'm a real estate agent. It's been a new adventure, a new career for me recently. When I knew I wanted to become a mom soon, I wanted to think of the best career possible to help me be the best kind of mom that I wanted to be. So real estate was just a perfect fit for that. A fun referral that I had recently was someone who reached out to me on Instagram and saying, we have a friend in common and she recommended you. So it turns out that the woman who introduced me to my husband 7 years ago, she kind of lives back and forth between Toronto and Montreal. She kind of wants to start her life over, fresh start. And she has an amazing budget for Montreal, but for Toronto, it's like peanut. Today, I am meeting Crystal, my Toronto client, who's moving to Montreal, and today is the inspection.
Hi, my name is Crystal Stevens, and I'm from Toronto, but I am planning to move to Montreal. And right now in my life, I'm looking for an investment property, and to get the most bang for my buck, I decided to, move back.
So during an inspection, my role is to just observe and let the inspector do his thing, and I just quietly observe and follow him around and make mental notes of things. It's also to read the inspection report with my client, help her understand it, and also set the right expectations. And the reality is that any property will have little things, that need to be fixed or maintained, or the inspector, his job is also to make suggestions how to make your property better. So we're in the middle of the inspection. It's been about an hour. So far, so good. There's little things here and there, but nothing dramatic just yet. So we're halfway through. See how thin that wall is? You could probably do something like that here to cover that. If you end up leaving it here and not moving it on the other side, you could do a thin wall like that.
I think that'll be a eventual
thing to move it aside. Yeah. So, and does this one need to be replaced, like the whole window?
The windows are actually in good condition.
I think it's
better
just
than any of the other ones.
I think it's just
they don't close like the other one.
But of course, there's a surprise. So the basement actually needs to, or the crawl space, I should say, needs to be reinforced. It needs to, for them to add like steel support in it, which is quite worrisome because that means if you don't have it, it might start tilting. And this is obviously a big deal for the foundation of the whole building, right? So I'm a little bit worried, to be honest, and we'll see. We'll see what the report says at the end. We should get it in 2 days, and hopefully we can have good negotiations with the seller because it's obviously a bigger job than we were informed and what was declared on the seller's declaration. I work with a great office, the Londono Group, and I made friends with other brokers. They helped me collaborate with them on transactions, and I really hit it off with one person in particular, my partner in crime, Cassandra, and it's just been amazing. She's helped me, like my learning curve, usually, you learn it goes like this. My learning curve's been like that. The inspection, I'm always dreading getting the inspection report because I feel like even if it's a good report, the buyers always find something or they freak out about something.
Yeah, that's why you need to have a really good inspector
But even with that, like I have
Even with that, even with that. So it's like a combination of things. You have to, first of all, it's always helpful if you had an inspection done on one of your own properties because you
Yeah.
understand what they're feeling.
right.
You know, even like as brokers, we're like, oh, it's $3,000 worth of work. It's no big deal. But when you're in that position and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's $3,000. I have to I have to organize a contractor to come, and then I have to get this done. And it's not something that we could pass off. I'd rather just reduce, or I'd rather they fill in the cracks themselves. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to find a way around it because you never envision these issues coming up. So that's why when if you've already had that experience, it's helpful. And then when you're in the inspection with them, you have to constantly kind of remind them that like this, unless it's a brand new condo or something like that, even then there's issues. But you're gonna tell them like most of the time things will come up.
Right.
It's a home that has been lived in, you know, that has been sitting here for years. We are going to find issues with the home. You need to understand that going forward.
Yeah, I think I need to do a better pep talk
Yeah.
before
Yeah. And then
to
like
prepare them because they
Yeah.
always freak out. And the buyers like that I get directly, they're usually first-time buyers. And like I can feel the stress rising as they read the inspection
yeah, and it's
report.
never gonna go away. That's why I mean, even then, sometimes it doesn't even matter. Like you'll tell them, you'll have an amazing inspector. Like I speak from experience. I worked with a friend of mine recently, and we had an amazing inspector who explained everything to them like perfectly. I warned them that it was an old home and that there were for sure things that would come up. Everything went, in my opinion, the inspection report came back pretty damn good.
Right.
But they mentioned that a chimney had to come down.
Okay.
And the buyers could not get past this. They're
my
like,
goodness.
but the chimney needs to come down. And that's gonna be $2,000. And who knows what they'll find when they take the chimney down.
Oh,
and I'm
gosh.
like, the roof? Like, I don't know. But you know what I mean? Sometimes I think people are just not, maybe they're not ready
Yeah.
to buy. Who knows? Maybe there's other things, like maybe their work is stressing them out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe they're trying to start a family and they can't, and there's other stresses in their life, and it doesn't matter how clean that inspection report is, it's like an out for them.
So so this client, it's been going super great. She came from Toronto. The first weekend she came, we did a visit. We did several visits, and she made an offer like the next day.
Nice.
So that was really lucky. We found a nice condo that had been renovated and looked really good on the inside. Not condo, sorry, duplex.
Okay.
And it was a bit too good to be true. It looked brand new, but you know, it's Sud-West,
flip.
right? So I think so. I suspect that it might be, but
Is it empty?
no, yeah, it wasn't empty, so it must not be a flip. It was
Could have been
there
a
was
failed flip
tenants.
from last year.
Maybe.
We can't sell it. Let's just rent it. Okay, go on.
So they renovated the whole inside. We did the inspection. The inspection, honestly, this is what I'm talking about in terms of inspection. I read the report and I'm like, oh, you know, it's not so bad. Because when we were on site, I was super worried because the inspector was like, oh, the basement, there's support beams and they're cracked. So
You have to replace them.
Yeah, we have to replace them, and like there might be issues with the foundation, all these things. And you know, I'm always, I know they're not supposed to give you a quote, but I'm like, give me a general ballpark idea of the cost that you think. And he's like 30 grand. The crawl space, we're a little bit worried about, but let's get more information
Yeah.
before, you know, we really
Panic.
Yeah. But it's good because I had the inspector call his guy. And so, because at first he thought it would be like a $30,000 type of job, but he called and the guy told him it's not that much.
Okay.
That's not that much. We're looking more like 10 to 12. So
You have to keep in mind, sometimes inspectors are way off. I don't know why. I don't know if they've been doing this for too long or too little, but
So his guy, because he referred me to someone else, and his guy was like, it'll be closer to 12,000, but send me the pictures and or I'll go on site.
Okay.
We sent him the pictures of the report, and he couldn't figure it out because he's like, I need to know like the type of material and stuff. So he went on site for a second visit. And he's like, oh no, it's not a big deal at all. The building has already settled. It's no longer moving. At best, maybe in 5 years, if she does it, like maybe it'll cost her $5,000 max.
Nice.
So I was very relieved. So I tell my client this, like it's gonna be great. the report looks good. Nothing is marked urgent because this inspection company, they tell you, you know, what's a warning, what's recommended, and what's like super urgent. And there was nothing that was super urgent. So I'm like, oh, you know, yay.
So what happened?
So she's like, well, I'm not interpreting it this way. So
Is this her first purchase?
It's her first purchase, so that's why, like, I totally get it, and
I don't
you
want
know,
to go to duplex for the first purchase.
but I think it's brave, and I think it is a good investment for her to do that. But yeah, it's a bit more to take on as a very first purchase.
And will she be staying in Toronto?
No, she is moving here.
Okay.
So I think that's good, and I mean, for a young woman to like do that investment as her first purchase, I'm like, you know, pat yourself on the back. That's pretty, it's pretty good. But I had to really take the time to explain to her that it's Sud-West of Montreal, so it's old buildings. Even though the inside was renovated, the buildings are old. But any property that's old, like you mentioned, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be a few things. That's just part of being a homeowner. There's maintenance to be done. But she still wanted to ask for a price reduction of $25,000, and I'm just like, look, I'm here to represent you, so of course I'll do it. But I'm just so that you understand, it's not like Toronto. I think in Toronto, she explained to me, they really hype up the prices, okay? And so when you negotiate, it is big amounts and things like that. So I was trying to explain to her that here it's not.
Yeah, we're priced to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you show her the comparables?
I did not. I was going to after the first wave of negotiations of the price. I figured I would save that as a last resort. Like if we get stuck, I'm going to show her comparables so that she understands that it's still a very good deal. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
And for this big glass of wine.
It's well deserved. Cheers.
Cheers. I've been looking forward to it. It's been a long week.
How was your day?
Today was really good, actually. Remember that Toronto client I was telling you about?
Yeah.
You sure you remember?
Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
So she came. She came on Friday, and we saw, I think, like 4 properties.
Okay.
And then Saturday, we saw another 4, and she made an offer.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, already. I thought she was going to have to, like, come back a few times, and you know how it is with buyers sometimes. Well, you've been a buyer.
Exactly.
You know?
I was going to say, I've been a buyer. I've been around. I know. Yeah.
So I'm like shocked that first weekend, and she made an offer already.
That's great.
I'm super excited. It's a great duplex in Sud-West.
Oh,
so in St. Henry, exactly.
Okay, good.
And the owner renovated the whole inside of it, so it looks brand new. Everything's like nice, trendy colors, you know, gray, white, and so on. And it even comes with like a bit of furniture, which is great for her, you know, coming from Toronto. So yeah, no, it's amazing. I'm super excited. It's a great budget. So I'm like, excellent.
Next glass of wine is on you.
That's it. Let's make it the bottle.
Good, that's very nice.
Yeah,
so that means you narrowed down like the right properties for her.
Exactly.
And then
so
she made an offer real fast.
Yes, real fast. And you know, aside from obviously this being a good commission, I'm like actually excited for her because like she's a young Black woman looking to start her life over. She just wants a fresh start, you know, and like I could totally relate to that. And she wants to start over in Montreal, new job, new, you know, hopefully new man. I'm like, I'll send you positive vibes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's actually how I got my first property. Right?
Oh, really?
After a breakup,
true.
and I was like, that's it. That's the first thing I want to do on my list.
Yeah.
Was to buy a condo, and that was the beginning. And then as things evolved, you know, now I'm super interested in real estate investment.
Yes.
And when I have, you know, I've bought something with you,
Right.
and I'm looking forward to
That
buying
was
more
fun,
things,
us hunting for a property together.
I know, right?
I got to see you a lot more.
I know. Yeah, I was one of them picky clients that wants to see a lot of properties.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Really happy I got into this.
Okay, so when's the next one? When are we buying the next property?
I like, if possible, something next year. Now, The thing is, you remember we bought during the winter. Maybe
Yes.
I would wait to see what, because a lot of properties come out at spring.
Right.
So maybe wait a little bit for that. I would
More-
be curious.
Yeah,
But
more
this
come
year
on in
it's been-
spring, but the thing with spring is that everyone is shopping, right?
Yeah.
So you also have more chances of having multiple offers.
Yeah, that's brutal.
And like,
That
yeah.
is brutal. Like we had
I used to think that that's a good thing, like you want that, but now having done it a few times and seeing
Yeah.
my clients being disappointed, it's not so
It's
fun.
really difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's true. There's advantages and disadvantages.
Right.
But yeah, definitely next year I would be interested in starting to look.
Okay. Already. Most people do it every 5 years. You're like, every year I'm buying a new property.
No, not really. But the thing is, the idea behind it is that this property that I got after the breakup,
Right.
it's gonna be 5 years next year.
Oh, it's true.
Maybe I can
Okay.
refinance it.
Right, so
and-
that's why I was saying 5 years,
that's
because people
why.
refinance.
Exactly.
Okay,
so
yes.
this one is up
okay.
to is coming
It's
up to
5
the
years.
to it's 5 years. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can get a little bit of money from there.
Yes.
Put a little bit of my own money, and then
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like, I'm
it
sure it's
flew
going to
by.
work.
Huh? It
did.
flew by. It's already 4.5 years I have this this condo.
That's
So,
amazing. And
yeah.
this is going to be easy to rent out here. Like, you have a
Yes.
great terrace. It's a cute condo. It's
Yeah.
still, like, it's still new.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be super easy.
Yeah.
There's a nice park. It's a nice neighborhood.
So yeah, I'm wondering if I stay in this neighborhood. I mean, they're building the train here.
Yes.
It's nice. It's a lot of young families.
Yes.
There's a school. There's parks. You know, they invest a lot of money in the neighborhood. So maybe we'll be looking in the South Shore next
I
year.
think it's good. Honestly, the South Shore is doing really, really well right now.
Yeah.
Brossard, like houses, people are ripping houses from each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
A little bit outside of Brossard, like St. Hubert and stuff like that, is still under the radar right now. So the people
Oh,
who are
it's
buying are
great.
developers.
Oh, big
Yeah.
time. Just like a few blocks from here, I know they're
Yeah.
building some really nice things. I was looking at a duplex. It was brand new. It was gorgeous. I'm like, oh, it's a bit outside my price range.
For now.
But for now.
For now.
But it was like amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. It's really not far. It's still like super close to like the Strand and all the nice things that you have in Brossard, close to the city.
Yeah.
So really, it's a great place to be, you know.
So I do have a flexible schedule. I can make my schedule around my daughter, which is awesome. But my plan was to keep her mostly at home with me. But that was not realistic at all. You can't really develop your business when you have a baby or a 1-year-old running around all day requiring your attention. So I registered her at the daycare twice a week. And that has helped a lot because on those days, that's when I'll do the bulk of my calls in terms of business development and finding clients. So, you know, doing cold calls and things like that. And that's when I go on visits and so on. Thank God my husband is also an entrepreneur. So when things go really crazy for me, he really steps in and he reschedules his clients so that he could be more at home. Which these days it's happening a lot. So of course his business is taking a bit of a hit. We have to schedule a lot together. Every day we talk about our schedule for the next day and for the week. And okay, can you pick up Charlie from the daycare? Should I pick up Charlie from the daycare? Who's staying home? Who's going out? Luckily, a lot of my visits are evenings and weekends. So during the day, I can stay with her a lot. However, soon she's about to be 18 months and I'm putting her butt in daycare full time. That's just the reality of it. Look, I wanted to be the cookie cutter mom that's like home all day with her kid and, you know, doing all these things. But the reality is that business suffers when you do that and you have to find a balance. And I feel that I'm comfortable with her being at the daycare full time. And look, she loves it. And she's with other kids and she's learning faster from being with other kids.
If I can best describe Cindy is that she's relentless. She won't stop until she gets what she wants. It's a bit challenging sometimes, but when it comes to real estate, I think it comes out to be a great advantage. I remember even before she got into real estate, she would just look at Centris and real estates and look at houses just as a way to calm herself down. This was like her happy place. Whereas most people would like watch TV at the end of the day to just chill out, she would actually look at houses and she's like, wow, wow, wow. So she really fell into something that's aligned with her passions. So I'm really, really happy that she's able to make money with something that she's in love with. So the real challenge here is trying to find a beautiful balance between spending time with our daughter and trying to get as much work done as possible. In Cindy's case, the work can come at any time. She has to go to an inspection, a visit, she has to send emails. So for her, she has a little bit less flexibility than I do. So I try my best to be as flexible as possible, and a lot of my clients understand that that's the way it is, and they're very understanding. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
My day-to-day starts late. Typically, I don't have to wake up super early, even though I have a baby and she wakes up at 6 a.m. every day. No matter what time I put her to sleep, she wakes up at 6 a.m. And although I might like wake up a bit because I hear her on the baby monitor, my husband is a morning person. So what's the expression? He's the early bird and I'm the night owl. So he wakes up early with her. These days he's been waking up at 4:30 a.m. so that he can get some work done before she wakes up. And he kind of takes over until I wake up a little bit later. Lately, just because I've been, a bit stressed out with work and everything, I've been waking up at 8. But typically I'll wake up a little bit later, to be honest, more like 10. And at that point I usually either take over because he's off to go see clients, or I'll spend some time with them. Usually I find them in the backyard. When the weather is nice, they're always outside. That's probably why I bought them a hammock and set up outside so that they'll be happy there. But I'll catch up with emails, I'll make coffee, of course. Maybe a bit of meal prep to plan for the week, because honestly I don't have time to cook every day. So I'll do a bit of meal prep for my daughter, for us, and I'll go join them, have some coffee, and spend some time with my daughter, play with her. We go for walks. Sometimes she has swimming classes. Spend some time with the husband, but poor guy, usually he's last on the list. Usually it's kind of like baby first, work, more work, and then I feel like I neglect my friends, so I spend time with my friends or I call them, and then it's like the husband late at night. So poor guy, I love him. He's super understanding. She's so mellow right now. Shelly, I love you. I love you, Cuckoo.